Done loads of poems, like Visions of a Telephone, Twinkle Twinkle Little Mum, what else did I do? What else did I do? I done all roasted, all classic roasted love. I done that and all. I done that poetry book. All poetry and love. I done that and all. What else did I do? Love stories. Diana, we miss you. About Diana, Princess of Wales. I wrote that and all. What else did I do? Sugar coloured onions. I wrote about the vegetable, the onion. I wrote about that. I wrote about the onion, the vegetable itself. Then I wrote another one. I'm writing another one now. Say it with, may I say it with my heart? I'm writing a new book now, right? And I wrote another one, and I wrote loads of stories, and I wrote another one. I wrote loads. I wrote loads so far. Right? I wrote loads of poems and starred in a film as well. It's called Back to the Agreement. The Agreement. If you want to read, you want to check that on YouTube. It's called Back to the Agreement. I wrote that and all. Right? And I do a YouTube channel, right? Once a week, once a week, writing YouTube videos just to tell people what I'm doing right now and how life is. Right? I wrote loads of poems. Well, I wrote one earlier on. It's called May I say I will love you forever. It's called, and the other one's called May I say it with my heart. Well, I wrote loads. Well, I'm writing loads of poems now. Right, I'm writing tons of poems now, and I wrote another one. One peaceful beginning. I wrote that and all in my last poetry section. Right? One day in New York. I wrote that and all. Once upon a time in New York. I wrote that and all, and I thought that was very good the way it came out. Right? The way it worked quite well. It moved. Once upon a time in New York, it's called. Right? And I like the way it came out, the way it moved. It worked. And I wrote another one. You Give Me Goosebumps. Right? It's like the film story, but I wrote a story to it. Right? I don't know if they like the story, right? But it's different to what they write in the film. Give Me Goosebumps, because it's like a love story, right? Where two people between the bits, right? They get married and they have a relationship and they get kids and all this carry on. I made it like that, and I thought it was intuitive the way it worked, right? And another one I wrote, I wrote in that poetry book, May I Say It With Love, which was the story of the book itself. And I thought that was quite good the way it came out. I liked the way it moved. It moved people. It was good. It worked. And it was so intuitive as well, the way it worked. Right, it's lovely watching it work. Right? Watching the videos work. It worked so much more now than ever before. See, the more you write, the more people will understand, like the stories you actually write. You write them as you have a good beginning, a good middle, and a good end of a poem. I have a good middle, a good beginning, and a good end, right? To a nice poem, right? And you have a good title as well. If you get a good title to work round, right? You can write more. Then you can write loads. The more you write, the more it'd be easier, right? See, when I wrote my life story book, right? My life story, The Poet's Eye. I wrote that around my life and how I grew up, right, and where I came from when I first was born. I wrote it like that, and there's pictures on the back of it of when I was born, right, to when I was 15 years old, right, to nowadays, right, to see how I changed, right, loads how I changed, right? And it's about my life story, how I live with my dad, live with my mum, and it's all based around that, right? People do autobiographies, right, about their life, where they started, their beginnings. So I wrote it as well, right? It was lovely, it was, to write my life story book in a way that would understand me as a person. People understand how I came to be where I am today, right? I wanted to be famous on YouTube and also be a famous book writer. So I wrote poetry. I done poetry for 10 years, for 30 odd years, since Joy's place. Joy Bamford lived at Victoria Street, Gillingham, right? In 56 Victoria Street she lived at. I wrote my first poem in the back garden of her place, and I didn't think I'd make it, but I made it. I made it. I've been writing poetry for 30 odd years. I've made loads of books. There's loads and loads of books I've made so far. I made hundreds. I made loads of books. It's really nice just to see how it works. Right? I made loads. Hundreds of books. Even made loads of books. Tons. Love story books. I made loads of love story books. Right? I made loads. Even made Moonlight Kisses. Made that and all. That was another one I did when I was back in the day. I was writing that, then I made another one, Extreme Waters Flow, about water. I wrote that and all, which I thought was very good. You couldn't get better than that, could you? Writing loads of stories. Extreme Waters Flow. I quite like the way that worked. It worked in the way that it should be. It worked. It was just a great way it worked. I like the way it moved. It moved people. It just seemed to have worked, right? And it moved. It worked really well. And tell you what, people really like that water story, because I went to Buell Reservoir, round on the boat, and then I went to the Sea Life Centre while I was writing the book. See, it all worked. It all worked out, didn't it? It was perfect. Couldn't be better. As it worked out, it was excellent, exquisite. It worked out really well. It was so brilliant, the way that worked out. But that moved people. It really worked. Right, bye.